doubted me.
Pleasure to watch professionals at work.
Okay.
All right, let's try this again. We'll still need these.
Great.
Good luck.
We'll be in touch.
Hands in the air. Hi, Victor.
Hello, Nadine. Pleasure to see you again.
Only this time, I've got the drop on you.
Well, I guess I should be glad that's not a real gun. Hardly recognize you out of your fatigues.
Yeah. You know how it is. Every once in a while, a job requires us to get all dolled up. Looking sharp, by the way.
Not too bad yourself.
Feel so out of place here. Can't tell you what a relief it is to run into another English speaker. Even if you are American.
They'll have to blame my parents for that one.
I was on my way to the bar. Can I get you something?
Yeah, scotch. On the rocks.
Be right back.
Nate? You catch all that?
Yes, I did. Sounds like a lady's trying to buy you a drink.
Yeah. Nadine Ross is buying me a drink.
Nadine Ross. Wait, doesn't she own that Army for Hire? What's it called? Coastline?
Shoreline.
Yeah, right. But you had a run-in with them.
It's putting it mildly. Fortunately, she does not seem to be holding a grudge.
I'm good to go here. All right. Listen, we're all set, Sully. You, stay out of trouble, okay?
I'll try.
Ready? Yeah, let's do it.
Gotta find where the waiters and caterers are hanging out.
And lure one out of the kitchen, probably.
Then let's go find the kitchen.
Man, there's enough food down here to feed a small town. Crap.
You see a waiter in there?
Nah, just more heavily armed goons.
Ragazzi, ehi Massimo, tocca a te. Che consiglia? Stavi pensando di pagare del vino? Sicuro che
The hell is this? This gate wasn't on the blueprint. Locked, of course. Okay, plan B. I told you it's locked.
Trust, but verify.
And?
It's locked.
Right. There you go. See some fence up there.
Here we go. Let there be light.
Got electrical in this joint.
Don't suppose you brought a... Yeah, that'll do. I guess it's always a good idea to bring a smoker along. Unless you need to run.
Oof. Man, I'm starting to get a little drunk off the fumes in here.
Oh, good thing Sully's driving. Dead end. Maybe the vent access is behind these casks.
That's a lot of really rare vintage.
Yeah, maybe Alcazar can just settle for some good wine.
That something tells me that's not gonna fly. Good job. Hey, she'll be worried that Victor is chatting up Nadine Ross. I mean, I've heard some pretty scary stories about her crew.
Yeah, don't worry about Sully. I can talk his way out of anything.
There you go.
This way.
Hey, look, the vents. That's our way out.
Yep. Let's find something to climb on. Yeah, I got it. No need to give me a hand or anything.
I'm holding the lighter.
Holding the lighter. Okay, up we go. Right there. That's smaller than it looked, huh?
And a lot more dusty.
Shh, shh, shh. Damn it.
Cosa portiamo a quell'odioso militare?
And Baldy looks like my size, too.
There's no shortage of waiters around here. Oh, crap. Back this way. Okay. Alley-oop. Shh. You shh.
Ucciderei quel portiere di merda!
Dove diavolo si procurano tutta questa roba?
Sono pezzi rubati ai ricettatori. Sì.
Fresh air, here we come. Hey, check this out. See that building with the radio tower?
You mean the cell tower?
The what? Whatever. Listen, that's the power room.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see how we get past this gate. Sam, up here. I'll boost you up.
All right.
All right. Good thing you kept in shape.
There you go.
Sully, we just got out of the wine cellar, heading to the power room now. How's it looking? Sully? You there? It must be a bad spot for a signal. Hopefully he's doing okay.
Bingo. Found the kitchen. And of course, it's locked.
Sam, look. Maybe we can use that, find a window, drop into the kitchen.
That's a good idea. I'll boost you up and you take care of the ladder.
Got it? Heads up, heads up. Buonasera.
Ma che sta facendo?
Easy on the civilians, Sam.
What? So he wakes up with a headache in his underwear. We've both been there before, right?
Right.
Well, I got mine. You get yours.
All right. Okay, let's get to the power room. Sam, you good?
Yeah, these pants are just a little bit too tight.
Yeah, well, that's the style these days.
Really? Oh, when in Rome.
Nah, because we're in Italy. I get it.
All right, I'm gonna head back to the ballroom.
Sam, you there? Sam? Sully? Great. Guys, if you can hear me, I'm just about at the power room. Should be there soon. Ish.
Oh, shit!
I can't believe you got away with that.
Oh, we did not. No, we had our liberty taken away for a month.
And what about the horse?
Fortunately, we had a lot of carrots on board.
Recognize someone?
No. I thought I did, but no.
Hey, when am I finally going to meet that partner of yours? Drake?
Well, that's ex-partner. Yeah, I've been flying solo for a while now. Drake's out.
Oh? Like dead out?
Oh, no. More like retired. Last I heard, he settled down, got married.
Well, then he might as well be dead, right? Victor Sullivan! How the hell are you?
Rafe?
How long has it been? 10 years? 12?
15.
It's amazing. All these years gone by, here we are, we're still haggling over dead people's junk.
Really? Aren't you running your parents' business?
My business now. But yes, that is my day job.
That is one hell of a day job. You could probably afford to buy up everything on the block tonight.
Well, sure. But what would be the point in that? And these days, I'm only looking for the good stuff. Big scores. Any advice on what I should pick up tonight?
Yeah, think I want to bid against him. But, just between you and me, I did notice they changed the order. I think somebody might be trying to rig this auction.
Well, remember where we are. This crowd didn't get rich by playing fair.
Which is why you really need someone watching your back in a place like this.
Well, I do hate to break it to you. You are working for an American.
We've partnered up on this one.
I see. Talk about a power couple.
In a few moments, we'll begin bidding on our next item, an inlaid wooden crucifix from the Trot Estate.
Well, I know when I'm a third wheel. You two kids have fun tonight.
Just hold on, Sully. How'd you find out about it?
It? What it is that, Rafe? Nadine, I think your partner here has had too many Bloody Marys.
Cut the bullshit, old man. I don't know how you scammed your way in here, but if you think about bidding on Avery's Cross, I can tell you exactly how you're going to be leaving in a goddamn
Rafe!
fight. Well, you get my point.
Lovely seeing you both. Nate? Nate? God damn it, kid, where the hell are you?
Okay. Power room. I can do this. God, why did I pick the power room?
Sì. Non ci pagano abbastanza. Se dobbiamo fare anche gli elettri giusti. Sì, puoi dire di no.
Ecco fatto. Oh, speriamo di non dover cambiare altri fusibili del cazzo stasera.
Direi che per stasera può bastare. Ma che diavolo? Pronto? Vuoi ripetere? Silenzio. D'accordo, arrivo subito.
Here we go. Now, where the hell are the circuit breakers? Ah, crap. Sam, Sully, you there?
God damn it, kid, where the hell have you been?
I made it. Had a few close calls, but...
Yeah, well, if you're gonna cut the power, now would be a good time.
Well, I'm gonna need a minute before I can reach the panel.
We don't don't have a minute, Rafe's about to walk out of here with your cross.
We now have
Wait,
50,000
what?
euros in the
Rafe? Rafe is here?
Yes, Rafe is here, and
That's
as of right now, he has the highest bid.
Well, outbid him.
With what?
That's
I don't have that kind of scratch.
Sully, we're stealing it, remember?
What if he calls my bluff?
He won't.
We have 90,000. Do I hear any more bids?
Guys, if we do not get this cross, I am as good as dead.
Yeah. Well, I end up with the highest bid, we're all dead.
Sully, I need you to buy me more time.
Since we have no other bids.
Trust me.
Going once. Going twice.
Screw it.
Bene, we have 100,000 euros in the room. Thank you. Do we have any other bids? We now have 110,000 euros in the room.
For a penny and for a pound,
That bid brings
Don't
us
worry.
to 120.
You'll be out of there in no time.
I better be.
Okay, just gotta smash the lock. But with what?
Now the bid has reached 130,000.
Nope.
We are now at 140.
Nothing. Damn it.
Your bid, signore, takes us all the way to 150,000 euros.
Gotta be something. Come on.
Hey man, starting to sweat bullets here.
Yeah,
Bidding
give me a
starts
second.
at 160,000 euros in the room. Signore's bid
Yes.
makes 170,000. We are now at 180,000 euros in the room.
Gotcha.
Has now reached 190,000 euros.
All right, boys, I'm at the switch. You ready?
As I'll ever be, Victor.
Just a sec.
The gentleman's bid, 200,000 euros.
500,000. Let's get the show on the road here.
Thank you. We have 500,000 euros in the room. Does the gentleman wish to bid again?
Had me worried there for a minute, Victor. Thought I might have to kill you.
Okay, let's ruin this asshole's evening.
Anyone else? We are going once. Going twice?
Something odd about this skull, though. It's like it doesn't belong to the stone.
Well, what's odd about it is that's not Avery's sigil.
Yeah, I mean, the skull should be facing
Sideways. What is that?
My God. You ready for this?
Oh, I've been ready for a long time.
Let's see what we got. It's a crypt.
Hidden behind a secret door
I assume the secret door was added afterwards.
to hide his loot.
One of the old monks wrote this. Whoa, gang's all here. Jesus, Dismas on the left,
Penitent thief,
Gestus on the right.
jerk thief.
Is this a door? Looks like a door.
I don't see a way to open it, though. What are these star symbols?
Some kind of lamp. Hey, Smokey. Need your lighter over here.
You know, that hurts my feelings.
Not as much as it hurts your lungs.
Thank you, Father Duffy.
Isn't that something?
The light's coming from the other side of the wall.
Let's see here. Ah, I can aim the lights. Hey, here we go.
I think you got that one. Oh, connect the dots.
That looks right.
Nathan, that's it. You got it. It looks like a constellation.
Yeah. That's Libra. The scales of justice.
That's an interesting choice for a bunch of pirates.
Okay, let's give this a shot.
Open sesame.
Wrong treasure.
Shush. Well, nice view. No treasure, though.
No, but... Look, you see those crosses?
Oh, yeah. Hey, is that a cave right below?
Yeah, I think Avery's trying to tell us where to go next. There's one problem, though. Going back that way means we have to go back toward the cathedral.
And back towards Rafe. Shit. Well, let's not keep him waiting.
Shit.
Anybody heard from the scout party uphill?
Nothing. You think we have guests?
Don't I wish. The storm's been messing with the radios. It's practically useless. If we don't hear back from them soon, I'll go check in.
Okay.
Hang on.
Nothing over there.
You hear me?
Oh, shit.
Someone took him out! We know you're out there!
Hey, Nathan, heads up.
Come on. Calm out.
Come on, now!
Wait.
Yeah! Nathan!
I can't believe he got away.
Apparently, she tossed him out of a five-story window.
And he survived. Guy should count his blessings.
That auction was fully guarded.
Not by shoreline. No, not by our boys.
All I'm saying is let's not underestimate these guys.
Let's not make them into something they're not either. Eh?
Hit! Shit, they spotted us!
Believe he got away.
Apparently, she tossed him out of a five-story window.
And he survived. Guy should count his blessings.
That auction was fully guarded.
Not by shoreline. No, not by our boys.
Apparently, she tossed him out of a five-story window.
And he survived. She's... Here they are!
Apparently, she tossed him out of a five-story window.
And he survived.
What the? Got something over there. got away. Apparently, she tossed him out of a five-story window. And he survived.
Damn it! Okay, think we're clear.
Well, that could have gone better.
We're still breathing. That's good enough.
Let's just get that gate open.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go! Come on!
Damn, that sucker's heavy.
I know, right? How are you holding up?
Great. I was kind of hoping to find the treasure back there, but it's never that easy, right?
That's been my experience.
Plus, there was that cool constellation.
Yeah, it was cool. Right under that high cross. That's where Avery wants us.
What Avery wants, Avery gets.
Kid, what's your status?
Hey, Sully. We're on the trail, but treasure's closer to the cathedral than we originally thought.
Oh, boy. So what do you need me to do?
Just keep those engines warm. We'll be back before too long.
You got it. Keep me posted.
Will do.
Patrol about.
You, of all people, should appreciate.
What have we here?
Nobody wants another Port Moresby on their head. How about don't talk if you weren't there, eh?
Very piratey.
Massacre nowadays to generate buzz. We don't need that kind of press. We don't need rival companies stepping into our jobs. You know what? Forget it. Why'd you bring it up? I said forget it. Whatever.
Over there.
got. Hey, you there?
Wait. What's that?
Hey! Nice shot, little brother.
I guess there's no getting away from these guys.
Yeah, and there'll only be more as we get closer to the cathedral. Here we go. Come on, I'll boost you up there.
All right. Hell, I'm too high to reach you. Yeah, hang on a sec.
Hanging.
Let me see what's by that wooden structure over there. Hey, I got something. Yep, we go. Christ, this thing's heavy.
What exactly are you doing?
Giving you a way up. That'll support even your weight.
Ah, thank you.
Hey, you don't think the monks built this?
No way. Some kind of pulley system.
To lift a whole bunch of treasure?
To lift something. I can't believe I missed this.
Yeah. Clearly we were meant to find it together.
Ah, so romantic.
See you way down on the cliff over there. As long as you avoid that big slide into oblivion.
Shit! Nathan!
Hey, you don't think the monks built this?
No way. Some kind of pulley system.
To lift a whole bunch of treasure?
To lift something. I can't believe I missed this.
Yeah. Clearly we were meant to find it together.
Ah, so romantic.
I see a way down on the cliff over there. As long as you avoid that big
Hey, we can
slide
climb
into
this!
oblivion. On my way. Ah, I'm freezing.
Okay, maybe this wasn't such a good idea! No! Holy shit!
Incoming! That was amazing.
Hope this holds. Oh! This was a good idea! Oh! Ah!
Nathan!
Down here! The cliff thing broke.
Okay. You have a real knack for breaking things, especially cliffs.
Tell me about it.
All right, here we go. Christ's sakes! You okay?
Yeah,
Like I was just saying.
yeah.
All right, hold on. I'll see if there's... Oh, shit!
Sam! I guess it runs in the family, huh?
Maybe so.
I can't get to you from here.
Oh, you got it. I can't feel my hands. I think my blood thinned out or something after all those years in Panama.
Yeah, well, don't worry.
I'll help you up. There you go. Where would you be without me, huh?
Probably at home. Drinking hot cocoa.
What are you, 5?
Oh, tell me you wouldn't go for some hot cocoa right now.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Exactly. Here we go. Jesus.
We're getting close to the reef.
I know.
Spotted something. Have a look to confirm. Yeah, on it. How's it? You got anything?
Nothing.
Hang on.
How's that, huh?
Oi! Found our target!
Okay, we're clear.
Let's hope we're done with these idiots. Hey, careful. Might be unstable after the blast.
Who does excavation with dynamite?
Mercenaries. I think Rafe would know better, though. Hey, Sam, help me with this.
What if it's the only thing holding the tunnel up?
Then I'll apologize, right?
Go!
There, see? No problem.
Yeah, for once.
Nathan!
Those things look sturdy to you?
Sturdy enough.
God. Nathan!
Those things look sturdy to you?
Sturdy enough. Hey, be extra careful on these.
Oh. Hey, look down there. Old piratey looking ships.
Yeah, all of... Oh, crap! Ah,
Remember, extra careful?
thanks. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Kid, dog's picking up. How's it looking?
We're about to head into the cave.
The cave?
Yeah, might lose contact for a bit. Don't get too worried.
All right. I'll keep the porch light on for you.
All right. Call you soon.
We made it. It's quite the detour. Those shoreline assholes were right next to this cave.
Yeah, but I think we're the first ones in here. Come on, through here. And I didn't eat a big breakfast.
Creepy St. Dismas statues? Check.
Carved stairs? Check.
Nathan, I think it's safe to say we're in a pirate cave. Oh, is that a door?
That sure looks like it. Come here. Check this out. A little slimy. There's a handle in here or something.
Well, give it a pull.
What? Could be a trap.
You're already in there. What's the worst that could happen? Really?
Paradise awaits. To those who prove false, behold your grim fate.
Yeah, well, I guess Avery was a better pirate than a poet.
This This isn't Avery's.
What do you mean?
Look,
It's the Rhode Island pirate.
Thomas too.
Yeah, but it can't be him. I mean, this is clearly his sigil, but 2 died attacking the same treasure fleet as Avery.
Yeah, well, at least that's what the stories tell us.
If this really is 2's mark, then that means he's involved in all of this. How?
That's a damn good question. So who do you think these guys are?
Those who prove false, I guess. I think Avery or Thomas, too, were just trying to scare us.
Good thing we're jaded treasure hunters.
Good thing. That bridge looks about as safe as the others.
Well, it's held up this long. It's okay, it's holding. Come on.
These bridges are clearly not built to code.
Sure they are. The pirate code.
Ha 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 ha. Not bad.
Okay. Whew. I'm a pro at this by now.
So, did 2 build this place with Avery? I can't make sense of it.
Neither can I. I mean, if Avery's trying to hide his treasure, why involve another pirate?
Maybe he saw him as a part of his crew. Maybe he sent him one of those St. Dismas crosses.
Yeah, maybe 2 took all the treasure for himself.
Please don't say that.
Well, we're gonna find out soon enough.
Well, we're not going back that way.
At least we didn't get dropped in a pit or something.
This is elaborate.
You could say that. Found another switch.
Careful.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the hand out.
Whoa. Jesus. It's a pretty elaborate test? Trial?
Yeah. And this guy clearly failed.
Then let's do better. There's something on the bottom there.
It's a bucket.
Huh. Okay. Now what?
Ah! Whew. Bucket filled.
All right, pass it up to me. Put it back in that big wheel thingy.
All right, let's see what these wheels do. Okay, I think I see what's going on here.
Something with the 3 crosses?
Yeah. I'm guessing we're looking at Jesus, our good thief Dismas, and the jerk thief Gestus.
I'm gonna figure the white cross is Dismas.
So the black one is Gestus. There we go. Hey, Sam. Was Dismas to the left of Jesus?
Well, are you looking at them from the front or the back?
The front.
Then, yeah, he was on the left.
Okay, that's what I've got. Think that's it?
You could try pulling the switch.
I could.
Nathan. You sure you got this?
I was. Oh, crap! Ah. The crosses are all definitely in the right place.
Well, then I'm guessing the bucket is not.
There's the light at the top up there.
Check it out. Something up there moved when you put the bucket on top.
There's a channel running from the mechanism to the door.
Okay, so bucket on top is good. Keep it there.
Okay, that's gotta be it.
Nathan, look. I think you got it.
All right, see? No shishkinates, no naked kebabs today.
So, if that was a test, what do you suppose it was testing exactly? Filling a bucket?
I had to know about St. Dismas, whom I bet Avery and all of his crew were intimately familiar with.
Not that hard of a test.
Maybe it's not the only one. Hey, come here. I'll boost you up there.
Coming. Okay, I'm guessing we need to get up to that broken bridge.
Good guess. Let's look for a way up.
Follow me! They're sure not making this easy, are they?
I imagine it was easier when all the bridges and walkways weren't broken.
I guess we're a couple 100 years late. Let's see what's in here. There's a low ceiling here. Watch it.
Ow! Watch my... Ah?
Can it? See some light through here. Ah, catacombs.
That makes sense. We're under a cathedral. Hold on. What? Listen.
Anything noteworthy by the dormitory perimeter?
Not yet. It'll take us a day to move the crane over there.
Nadine.
No! Kind of. Yeah. Yes. Yes, definitely.
Wasn't Victor saying the weather is lovely this time of year? I can't see shit!
Just keep heading down until we hit the water. Sam! Down here!
Keep moving!
Past these guys!
Boys, they're shooting at my plane. Hurry the hell up or your ride's gonna sink.
Here we go. Get ready.
Oh, this is gonna suck!
Slowly get her going. That was a close one, huh?
They shot up my goddamn plane, Nate.
We're fine, thanks.
How soon can you get us to Madagascar?
No treasure, then.
Not yet.
I don't know what you're talking about. Look, we're rich.
Jesus. Suppose it's a start. You think the rest is in Madagascar?
Well, there was a chamber back there with a giant map of Madagascar on the floor, so... yeah, it's probably there.
This is beginning to smell a whole lot like Wild Goose, kid.
Look, the treasure was never in Scotland, okay?
Then what was the point of all that, huh? Of the St. Dismas
Look,
cross?
it's like I said. I think Avery was recruiting people. The cross was an invitation. The caves were just some sort of initiation.
Oh, so we all passed, huh? Congrats, Victor. We get eye patches and parrots now.
I don't get it. Why the hell would they go to all that bother just to weed people out?
To protect himself. Look, Avery was the most wanted man in the world at that time. He had to enlist people that he could trust in order to keep their treasure secret.
What do you mean, their treasure?
Just think about this. Thomas Tew was a successful pirate in his own right. What would he possibly stand to gain from joining Avery? I think Avery sent out crosses only to the other wealthy pirates like himself. What if they pooled and hid all their treasure together?
That would make the Gunsway all look like chump change.
Exactly.
Oh, holy shit. Okay, so where exactly in Madagascar are we going?
Kings Bay. It was an old pirate haven back in Avery's time.
I know it well. It's a big place. Anything more specific?
Well, that map chamber completely caved in, so, you know.
What are you laughing about?
The people who survived the caves, the recruits. What's the one thing they would have left with?
There's a volcano on this.
And there's a volcano near Kings Bay. Which means we need to get a move on.
Hey, Nate.
Hi, honey.
Oh, hi. I've been trying to get a hold of you. Are you okay?
Yeah, of course. What do you mean?
Well, you know, the news. There's been all that flooding. Maybe going to Malaysia during the monsoon season wasn't such a good idea.
Yeah, right. Right, yeah, it grounded us for sure. You know, had some equipment failure, but, you know, no one's hurt or anything.
Well, as long as you guys are safe. So, are you going to start work tomorrow?
Postponed, actually. Looks like we're gonna need maybe another 10 days or so.
Ugh, 10 days? Hey, well, why don't I just go ahead and buy a ticket then?
You know, you don't have to do that. It's fine. I mean, you know, these guys always overestimate things. I'm sure it'll be less time than that.
Okay, well, you know, don't rush. Make sure that you're safe.
Oh, I will. Always do. Listen, I'm sorry. I gotta go. Jameson's calling me over.
Okay.
I love you.
Love you too.
What are the satellites saying, Victor?
Right now, not a goddamn thing. I lost the signal.
Hey, you know what never loses signal? Paper. All right, this route right here should take us straight to the volcano. Might get a little bumpy, though.
Let's get the show on the road.
Okay.
All right.
So, what are we looking for out here?
Well, the map shows all these structures around the volcano. Hey, I'll be right back.
Nate?
1 sec.
Oh, okay. What were you saying, Nate?
Right. The map shows all these structures around the volcano. Some abandoned outposts, a handful of watchtowers.
Watchtowers?
Avery was the most wanted man in the world, so if he was hiding something out here, it makes sense he'd need lookouts.
One of those towers is right on the volcano.
With Avery's treasure. I see some ruins up ahead.
Wait here. I'll go take a look.
Oh, Victor, you still do a lot of traveling these days?
I try. I tend to pick jobs that get me away from the computer.
Yeah, I was telling Nathan it's shocking how much,
Not much to see here.
moved to the internet.
Yeah, sure, but I prefer talking to clients face to face. Get a good read on them.
Well?
Nothing worthwhile. Come on, let's keep going. Hey, so with our luck, what are the odds this volcano is going to erupt on us?
0. It's extinct. Trust me, that's the first thing I looked up when we said we were heading for a volcano. That and where to rent the cheapest 4x.
Wait, Sully, you're telling me that you actually did some research?
Can't let you be the know-it-all every time, kid.
That bridge there is what you would call rickety.
This looks promising. Come on, baby. Let's go, 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 go! Made it.
Okay, kid. Just don't drop us.
Hey, just keep it slow. Keep it in the center.
Yeah, there's a lot of backseat driving going on. Ah! We're good. Everything's good.
Jesus Christ. Onward and upward.
Slip and slide. We're getting nowhere fast.
You need traction here.
Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this. All right, hang on, guys. There we go.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my spine.
I'm gonna scout around.
Love this weather.
Yeah.
My car won't fit in here. Gotta be a way through somehow.
Yeah, it's all relative, I guess.
Look, tire tracks. Someone came up this way.
Hey, Victor, what were you arguing with the rental guy about?
Oh, your brother insisted on getting a 4x4 with a winch.
So you sprung for the winch, but you couldn't spring for the suspension. I got it.
Hey, it's important. Going off-road, it might rain, might be muddy.
But with Nate being so eager, he doubled the price.
He would have doubled it anyway.
How did we go through this whole goddamn thing and never use that winch?
All right, hang on tight.
Oh, shit. Hey, take this slow, kid.
Yeah.
So, Nathan, you're thinking Avery, too, and some other big shot pirates pulled their treasure and came out here because... why exactly?
Who knows? Maybe for protection? British authorities were closing in on them.
Sure. Maybe, he helped them disappear. I mean, the guy clearly had a knack for hiding things.
And go.
And... no.
That was a valiant effort.
go check out that tower.
I'll come with. It's in pretty good shape for something several hundred years old.
Yeah. There's definitely ruins from Avery's era. Sam, look.
That's Christopher Condon's sigil. He's captain of the Fiery Dragon, operated out of Madagascar around Avery's time. So maybe Avery recruits pirate captains to, what, be his lookouts? That don't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Well, maybe each captain was responsible for a tower, along with providing the men for it.
Huh. Bark stripped away. Something was wrapped around this tree.
Hey, Nate. How about using that expensive winch to pull the car up the hill?
Oh, yeah. Why didn't I think of that when I rented it?
You rented it?
Got some big plans for this winch. There. That ought to do it. All right, ready?
Give it a shot.
Here we go. Steady. Steady. See, Sully? Winch. Totally worth it.
We cleared a hill. It hasn't exactly paid for itself.
Well, not yet. Small victories.
Yeah, well, I'll celebrate the big ones.
Feast your eyes, gentlemen.
Wow.
We're far away from your oppressive government.
Oh, poor oppressed pirates. All they wanted to do was to murder and pillage in peace.
No, they wanted to live as free men.
Well, if you're gonna pick a place to run away from society, you could do a lot worse than here.
It's taken forever to get to this volcano.
Patience, Victor, patience. Do you know how those pirates got here? They had to start in England, sail to Brazil, then cut back across the Atlantic to South Africa.
Sam.
And they figured all that out with paper, charts, and by looking at the stars.
Hey, you're describing sailing to a former squid.
But the point is, we got it pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, it's still taking a long time.
How would you look at that?
Oh, shit! Stop! Stop!
I see him. What do we got? Military types poking around.
Nadine's guys?
Yep. Son of a bitch. Looks like they found an old colony outpost.
But the wrong one, right?
That's the good news.
That means it's bad news.
The only route to the volcano is straight through them.
Oh, shit. We do have the drop on them.
What's the play here, Nathan?
Just follow my lead. Shit, what was that?
Down there!
Okay, I think that's it.
Damn it, Rafe and Nadine must have dozens of guys out here. I mean, they could just stumble onto the treasure through blind luck.
Jesus, these pirates really need to work on their infrastructure.
Now, how do we get out of here?
Again with the winch, Sully. Pretty handy, right?
I wasn't against getting the winch. I was against getting ripped off. Let's not get stuck here.
Sully, just how well do you know Nadine?
Why? Yeah, right.
What if we promise her a bigger cut than Rafe?
No, that's not how she operates. She's more of a money-up...
Look, shoreline.
Yeah, they're definitely going all in, aren't they?
And getting awful close to that volcano.
Thinking the same damn thing. They found the treasure already.
Well, look, they're searching every inch of this place. If they'd found it already, they wouldn't be searching.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, is that a well?
Sully, you were saying?
Oh, yeah, right. So, you don't mind me asking, how'd you...
Well, well, well. Get it? You know, 'cause it's a well.
Sully, you stole your joke.
I noticed. Good sense of humor, though.
What have we here? Damn, these pirates weren't messing around.
Did you find something down there?
Maybe. Do me a favor, get behind the wheel for a sec.
Will do.
Hey, Sully, throw the car in reverse.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay, what do we have here?
So?
Nothing major. Show you back at the hotel. Sully, what were you talking about?
Yeah. So, you don't mind me asking, how'd you pass the time in prison?
You know, reading, mostly. There was this one guard saw me as a charity case, I guess. He had to check out books from the library for me.
So what'd you read?
History, especially anything related to Avery and other pirates. Just in case, you know.
Sure.
But, you know, besides...
No. See that smoke?
Ooh, shoreline, slow down.
Sam, what were you talking about?
Oh, right. Well, you know, besides books, push-ups, smoking, trying to stay out of fights between rival gangs, it's a whole lot of thinking. Pretty much it.
Sam, if you had a guard doing you favors, why didn't you use him to get word to us?
Oh, I tried. I asked him to mail a letter to your P.O. box.
I never got it.
That would be because the warden saw it. I got busted up pretty bad. Never saw that guard again.
Jesus.
I got my own back when the warden decided to room me with Alcazar. That didn't turn out how he expected.
You know, come to think of it, I actually dealt with Alcazar a few decades.
Whoa!
Looks like Shoreline found something. Go slow.
You got it.
So, we were talking about...
Yeah. So, I actually dealt with Alcazar a few decades ago.
Oh. More shoreline codes.
Here, take a picture of me. Give me a break. This is a rape request. Every site needs to be documented before we use explosives. It's like he doesn't trust us. Get out of the way and let me take the goddamn picture.
Sully, you were saying?
Oh, yeah, right. So, I actually dealt with Alcazar a few decades ago.
Oh, shit. How are you still alive?
Well, he wasn't quite the man he is today. Still working his way up the criminal ladder then. I sold his boss a few woodcut prints I'd smuggled out of Japan. He was into Shogun.
Check it out, boys.
What is it?
Hey, guys, there's another tower just over the hill.
See any shoreline marks?
Can't tell. Well, it would appear we got here first.
Let's check the place out and keep moving.
Drawbridge. How medieval.
Yeah. Well, you don't put up a drawbridge unless you're trying to keep people out.
Or protect something inside.
Nathan, come check this out.
Hell, the stairs are busted. There's no way up to the crank.
I'll see if I can find something to stand on. Another sigil.
So, do you recognize this one?
I do, actually. Anne Bonny. Operated out of the Caribbean. I thought she died in jail.
At least that's what the stories tell us.
Right.
Avery must have invited her too.
See a big crate or something way up the top of the tower. Maybe that'll do the trick. Hey, be careful, kid.
Hey, guys! There's a massive tower just past the drawbridge. Biggest one yet. Bingo. Sam! Special delivery! Ah! Whoa, 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 whoa!
Hey, kid. You all right?
I'm fine.
You all right?
Yeah.
You got this?
Mm-hmm.
All right, see you in a few.
I'll bring the car closer.
You two just relax. I got this.
I mean, there's only one crane, you know?
Keep up the good work, kid. Sorry,
Oh, this should be fun.
Gonna take a look around.
So just how much do you owe Alcazar?
Half.
Half of what?
Well, he only knows about the Gunsway heist.
Which is worth 400 million.
Right, but if Nathan's theory is correct, then there's a lot more treasure.
Well, you should have told him it was 200,000. You never tell your partners how much a job is really worth.
Wasn't exactly expecting to be partners with him.
Guys, we're gonna find it, pay off that lunatic, and still have plenty to spare. Trust me. All set. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Don't panic! Don't panic!
I am very much here.
The cable's gonna snap!
I got you! Hold on tight, kid!
I got you!
Come on, come on!
You okay?
I've been better!
Get us out of this, kid!
Alright, hang on!
Caliberry fully tracer loaded 50 plants on the ammo, weapon and blessing of the food, they wolf.
Easy, kid. Easy.
Oh, that was fun, right?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely sharing this one with my shrink.
Wait, you have a shrink?
No, but I will after this.
Come on, you guys are overreacting. Get the whole thing under control. Hold on to something. that was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I'm almost disappointed. Almost.
Now, let's find our way in.
Let's go claim our treasure, boys.
Can't get in that way. Sam, give me a hand with this.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Huh. Looks like there's something back here. Sam?
Yeah. Let's do this. Damn. It's braked over.
All right, let's look around.
Hey, careful with that thing, kid.
Heads up!
God, Jesus!
I said heads up!
Hurry up, you two!
And he's off.
Sam, wait up!
Come on!
He seems excited.
He's got a lot riding on this.
Whoa. Magnificent. Don't see a treasure, though.
Hey, guys?
Coming!
Come check this out.
St. Dismas. We meet again.
So, what do we got?
More sigils. There's our boy Avery. Thomas, too. And that's
Adam Baldridge, that's Joseph Farrow, and that's Richard Warren.
Pirate captains.
All right, so maybe your pirate pool theory wasn't so ridiculous after all.
All right, so, let's see, what do you think the trick is here? Gotta push a button, pull something?
Maybe one of the arms, or...
Give it a shot.
Boys, whenever you're done fondling poor St. Dismas, I think you might want to come take a look at this. Trapezoid is obviously the volcano. The crown is King's Bay. We got ourselves a map, gentlemen.
Victor, you're a goddamn genius.
Hear that, Nate? Genius.
Yeah. Okay, so if we're here, this tower lines up with Avery's sigil.
Okay, so then the other sigils...
Must be the towers from Avery's time.
Well, I mean, our treasure's got to be in one of them, right?
Yeah, but which one? I count 12 towers.
Hey, Victor?
Huh?
You didn't start smoking cigarettes by any chance, did you?
Looks like we're not the first ones here.
Fire in the hole! Get down! We got the drop on us! We out to these...
Jesus. Is that all of them?
Well, let's hope so. You okay?
Yeah, fine. Sam?
Yeah, over here.
Hey, what are you doing?
He's confirming his suspicion. Shit. Look at this.
They figured out the towers, too.
Locations, sigils, the works.
So now what?
Now what? Now we're screwed, okay? Because there's 3 of us, and there's God knows how many of them, and they have a head start.
Yeah, but they don't know which tower to go to yet.
Well, that's great, Nathan, because neither do we.
Yes, we do. Look, it's a little worn down. Right there, that's a match.
Yeah, you sure? Because, I mean, it could be this one, too.
Crap.
But still, 2 beats the hell out of 12.
All right. I'm gonna take this tower. You and Sully, you take that one.
No, Rafe's guys are all over these towers by now.
Exactly. So if we want to have a chance to catch them, then we've got to split up.
Sam, just hold up a second, will you?
Nate, he's right. These towers are at opposite ends of King's Bay.
Damn it. If you run into any of those shoreline clowns, you call us, okay?
See you soon.
Come on, Nate. We gotta hurry.
Yeah.
Oh, look out. Excuse me. Hey there, little guy. How you doing? Hey, you like that? Huh?
Nate, tower.
Sully, come on, it's a lemur. Come on, come say hi.
It's all right.
So cute. Whoa! Hey! Hey, Sully! Look who's back.
Rabies, Nate. Oh, man. Something smells really good.
He's right. It does smell good. Oh, watch it. Hey, here we go. Locked. I guess we're gonna have to sneak in.
Discreetly.
Implied by the use of the word sneak. Sully.
Hey, check it out. That window over there is broken. Jesus. Long way down.
You okay back there?
You keep your pace. I'll keep mine.
Yeah, well, at least you got a great view, right? Okay, let's see what we got. Edward England's sigil, just like the map said.
So what are we looking for?
Good question.
This is a very tall clock tower.
Yes. Yes, it is. Now, what do you bet?
Scorpion? Guy with a large pitcher?
Zodiac symbols. Look, there's Leo.
Ah, Taurus.
4 signs.
And 4 bells, way up there. And these things in the middle of the floor look like locks.
Got it. Let's go ring some bells. This is definitely the place. Call Sam.
On it.
Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, Taurus.
Voicemail. Hey, Sam. Looks like we're at the right tower. Call us. They don't have the best coverage in this city.
Well, no reason to wait. I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, boy. I'll be damned. Check it out, Sully. The clock still works.
Yeah, I noticed. Try not to get tangled in those gears up there.
You bet. Move. It's too close. You okay?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, watch your fingers, Nate.
Should I be nervous?
No, good. Trust me.
Where have I heard that before?
Leo. I dated a Leo once. Okay, that is really loud.
That one didn't work, Nate.
Scorpio. Bet Avery was a Scorpio.
Hey, Nate, that did the trick. The Scorpio lock just released.
Okay, moving on to the next one. Aquarius? Always nice people.
Two down, two to go, kid.
Let's see here. nauseous here. Okay, got it. Hey, Sully, any word from Sam?
Not yet.
Yeah, he's probably fine. Just forgot to charge his phone.
Hey, that did it. Doors is unlocked and Avery's sigil just appeared in the floor. Damn. That's it. Nothing.
Oh, hey, there is that big bell at the top. Hold on, I'm heading on up. Okay, here we go. Damn it. It's going too fast to climb. Better move. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Whew. That was fun. Wow. This is a nice view. Ah, here we go. I can turn back time. Look at that. No, 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 no! Jesus! Oh, there you are. Sure hope you're doing okay out there, Sam. Okay, Sully, I made it! This is gonna be loud. Crap. Sully, heads up! Sorry, the handle broke. I'm gonna have to ring it myself. Here we go. Go, climb. Gotta get up. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Sully. Oh, shit. At least I got the door open, though, huh?
That's one way to do it. You all right?
I don't know yet. You?
Deaf?
Come on. Let's see what Avery has in store for us. All right.
Hey, look. The coin. You want it?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's see what's down here.
Fingers crossed for piles of gold and jewels. Sam, finally, you okay?
Just searched my tower. I got nothing.
Yeah? No. We're definitely in the right place. Make your way over here.
Are you serious? Okay, I'm on my way.
He's coming.
Good. Sully.
Way ahead of you. Whoa. Hey, are those our boys?
Yep. Henry Avery. Founders. Founders of what?
Worst scavenger hunt ever?
There are Avery and 2 sigils. These are a little different, though.
Yeah, they got those star patterns on them.
They turn, but which way are they supposed to go?
Just a second.
More pirate symbols.
Adam Baldridge, Anne Bonny, and Christopher Condent. I mean, there's too many permutations.
I say we see where that door leads. Still hoping for some treasure, yeah?
You and me both. Hey, look, I was right. Baldridge, Bonny, and Condent.
Splendid.
Wow, that mustache. It's almost as impressive as yours.
It's all right.
Ah, that's right. Condent went by Billy One Hand. Guess he had one made. Huh. Bonnie was a redhead.
Yeah. Hey, Nate. Look. Another star pattern. Bottom right corner.
They're just like the ones on the Avery and 2 sigils in the other room.
Yeah, you're right.
Here's another one of those star patterns.
Yeah, but this one's different than that first one.
Oh, yeah. Good catch.
Thank you. See, I'm not just a pretty... What do you think?
Those Avery and 2 sigils. The stars on those lined up, remember? I bet these line up too.
And another doorway.
Yeah.
So, who are these guys?
That's... They are,
You don't know, do you?
Hey, there were a lot of pirates out there, you know?
So we're stuck.
No, we're not stuck. Give me your phone.
What, you're gonna phone a friend?
Close. Text a brother. There.
You know, these are actually some nice paintings. If we don't find the treasure, maybe we could sell them to a museum.
Let's find those star patterns.
Okay, just saying.
Hey, Richard Want.
Whew. Looks like he and Baldridge were in a best wig competition.
William Mays.
American?
Yeah, from Rhode Island. Just like Thomas, too. Hey, Sully, give me a hand.
You got it.
Thanks. Is it straight?
Who the hell cares?
Well, I care.
God, look at Farrell's face.
Nada.
Looks like he'd rather be anywhere else.
Nada. Nuh-uh. Hey, you still in the tower?
Yeah, just climb back down. What's with the picture you just sent?
I'll fill you in later. For now, just tell me who's who.
Well, the dolphins are Richard Want, the trident is Joseph Farrell, and the two hands with the pearl is William Mays.
All right, great. Just stay where there's good reception. I might need your help again.
Nathan, did you find the treasure?
No, not yet, but I got a mechanism to solve here. I'll let you know. Nah.
What is that statue holding in May's portrait?
Well, the ship was named the Pearl, so maybe a pearl?
Ah, very literal.
Nada. Nuh-uh. Nah. Nada. Nuh-uh. Nah. Nada. Nuh-uh. Here we go. There.
Okay. So who do we have here? You know, I'm honestly shocked you don't know this stuff.
No, I do. I just want to make sure Sam knows. You know, because he likes to feel useful, that's all.
Aha, of course. Shit. What happened here?
A torch probably fell or something. Come on, let's see what's left. I don't recognize this guy.
Looks a lot younger than the other pirates.
Nah. That's one. Oh, Sam texted me back. Ah, see there, Sully? Turns out Sam doesn't know everything either.
Gloating is unseemly.
Yeah, I know. Let's just look at the paintings. All right, let's see what he makes of them.
You know, that kind of looks...
Hold on.
What are you doing? You just took pictures.
Hold that. You know, Avery's recruits wouldn't have had smartphones, obviously.
Obviously.
So this would have been the only way for them to get to the next clue.
These are clues.
Yeah, let me see. Voila.
Oh, all right. These could be trade winds. Yeah, and these look like latitudes.
Yeah.
And I would guess that we are packing our bags again, Boyle. What?
Pro Deus quod licentia. Oh, no, it can't be.
Can't be what?
Oh my God, it's so obvious.
Nate.
Why didn't I see this before?
Jesus, enough of the beautiful mind shit. What the hell are you talking about?
Hang on. Sam, did you get the photos?
Here I am. I'm calling what I thought was Sullivan's phone, and look who picks up. How you been, Nate?
Hey, Rafe. It's been a long time. How did you get this number? Sullivan leave it on a cocktail napkin?
I wish. That only would have cost me a few shots of rum, right? No, I had to pay top dollar to find you guys.
Yeah. I hope you didn't spend too much on this whole Avery thing. I hear the competition's fierce.
Yeah, you pulled off some clever moves there. But in the end, all that matters is who gets to Avery's treasure first.
Well, that sounds like a bet.
Hey, Nate, you know I'm always game, but my partner, well, she prefers to mitigate unnecessary risks.
Wow. Rafe Adler, taking orders from somebody else. Oh, how times have changed.
Look, Nate, I'm gonna make you a one-time offer here. You drop everything, go home, live your life. I'm willing to forgive and forget, for old time's sake.
As tempting as that sounds, Rafe.
I gotta say, I'm not normally the kind of guy who likes to quit while he's ahead.
Okay. Pro Deus quod licentia, for God and liberty. These are nice pictures, Nate. Good composition.
You hacked our phones.
You stole my cross. Listen, Nate. You'll accept my offer. What's it gonna be.
Listen, as nice as it's been to catch up with you, I really gotta take this call, so...
Well, Nate, one more thing. Nate!
What?
You do realize that your phones are equipped with GPS, right? I'll see you soon, buddy.
Shit.
Let me guess. Goons with guns on their way here now.
Sam.
For God and liberty. Nathan, do you understand what this means?
Sam, listen to me. Get off the streets right now and destroy your phone.
What's going on?
Rafe knows where we are. You gotta find someplace to hide. Sam? Sam! Damn it. Hey, I'll buy you a new one.
Okay.
Sully. I think that's Sam's tower.
That's definitely Sam's tower. Come on. This way. Pardon me.
Excuse me? Excuse me, what? How long you think before Rafe gets here?
Let's not stick around to find out.
Sorry, pal.
Come on, down here, Nate. Nate, watch out!
Shit! Everyone out of the way!
One down. Whoa! You know, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they found it.
They're surrounding us! So, having fun yet?
Oh, real blast.
How do we get to Sam?
We just keep heading downhill.
Brilliant.
Nick, hold on. Shit.
Hang on.
Oh, Christ.
Get out of the way!
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Careful! Damn it! That goddamn truck again! Crap!